Hey, it's Rob from Centercode. Let's get started with creating a project. From the community home, I'm going to click on Create a Project, and then we're going to fill out some project details. Now, if you're on the beta edition, you're only going to have a couple of these to fill out, so you'll be up and running pretty quickly. But we're on Delta, so we've got a couple more things to fill out. To start with, I'm going to assign a code name to my project. That way, testers don't necessarily know the end product name here, which is just a good practice in general. For project type, I'm going to go with the fixed duration. I just plan on running this for a couple of weeks to get some feedback prior to launch. And then for exposure, I'm going to go with private. I want to remind all my testers to keep things private. Our project style, by default, we're going to pick a color from your 6 miscellaneous colors at the bottom of the visual theme. So again, if you put your branding colors there, it'll cycle through them automatically. For icon, I'm just going to go with an hourglass. I'm going to leave my project email address as what I have set at the community. That works fine to me. If I wanted to customize that, I could. And then if you want more detail on what any of these mean, you can click on what do these do, or check out our support article down below for more details. For now, I'm just going to call this the Explorer. We'll say that that's the actual product name. And then I'm going to put in some answers for these. We use this to help determine a good tester target, essentially how many testers you should have in your test down here at the bottom. And then audience profile and effort expectation has a little bit more to do with how TED, our automated bot that handles tester outreach, communicates with the testers. So the recommendation we have here is 110. I'm just going to say maybe I only have 70 test units to work with here. So I'm going to type in 70 because that's my hard limit on the amount of testers I can actually have in the project here. And I'm going to go ahead and submit. And this is going to create our project for us. All right, we've got a created project, a little celebration. And then the first place that we're going to land is the project kickoff dashboard. I'll quickly cover, what's in here. The first panel is just to give you some information about how to get started with Centercode, some links to some training. The next panel is going to give you some insight into how to configure your onboarding, the experience that testers are going to go through when they join your product. So here you can see we have a bunch of different things available. Some of them turned off right now. These will update as you make changes. Then we're going to get some information on scheduling phases and features for test. We're going to have the option to turn on TED. We have an overview of who's currently in the test doing what. I will note that right now I'm the only one in this project, and I'm in both a manager and a support role right now. And that's important. If you want people collaborating and kind of working through the feedback, you're going to bring them in as a support. If you want them access to kind of the personally identifiable information or creating resources, then they'll need to be a manager, and they can be on both of those roles. And then we have our participant feedback and our insights. So I want to pause for a moment and just talk for a second about feedback. So if I come here to my project home, we have our 3 feedback types. We have issues, ideas, and praise. This is our 3 basic feedback types. Issues can be kind of bugs or problems that testers have with the product while testing. Ideas are areas for improvement, recommendations. Think of it as your product roadmap. And then praise are the things that they love about the product, where you really got it right. And that's super useful for sales or marketing teams to understand what resonated really well with testers. Everything that we do when we're testing is driving testers towards submitting a feedback on their experience. And they categorize that feedback based on the feature that they're testing when they experience that issue, idea, or praise. So let's start with how do I get people into the test here? I can, on beta edition, this is the only option you're going to have. You can click on invite to project, and then you could type in someone's email address and put them on the participant team, and then they'd be good to go. If you're looking to bring in a collaborator, you can only have one builder. So it's just yourself on the beta edition. But when you get into Delta, you can bring in as many collaborators as you want. Just be aware of kind of how that affects your subscription. But here you would bring them in that way. On Delta Edition, we have a bunch of onboarding options, which is what we're going to take a look at. I'm going to go back to the project kickoff dashboard by just clicking this link up here. And then I'm going to come down here to configure participant onboarding, and we'll click on that. Alternatively, I could have clicked on management, project config, and gone to participant onboarding. Either way, I'll get you there. So the only thing I really want to turn on right now is a landing page. So the landing page is going to say, welcome to the Oasis test. And then I would normally put in some information about what this opportunity is and whatnot, what we're doing in the test. But for now, I'm just going to paste in some lorem ipsum to make this quick. And I do want a public URL. I'm going to call it the Oasis project. And that's all we're going to leave right here. We do have another support article covering agreements, account verification, and product receipt. You can check that out down below if you want more detail on what each of those things do. But these are all super powerful, and they're unlocked with the Delta edition. So we'll go ahead and submit that. And now testers can join our project through that link. So that should get you up and running, essentially inviting people into your project. In the next video, we're going to go into kicking off your project, creating some phases and features, and kind of, creating that experience that's going to really be conducive to generating good feedback. All right. Thanks and happy testing.